I overslept this morning. Is it oversleeping when you sleep through the alarm? Is that the technical definition of oversleeping? Because I slept through the alarm. Went to bed late last night, if you will, for me, because the Cajun softball game was pushed back to 7:30. So the game could be ending at 7:30, and certainly I'm home by 8:30 if it starts at 6, but the rain came through and delayed it. It wasn't all that fast. Well, was it? I don't know when I got home last night. Let me see when I tweeted it out. Let's see when we tweeted out the final score. Not a happy night for the Cajuns. That was tweeted out at 9:47. So I probably wasn't home until quarter after 10. Watch the Knicks game. Had to watch the end of that game, right? And I'm posting the Jerry Glasgow stuff anyways. But got up twice to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, right? 1 hour in, which is always the case. And then like at 2:30. And went back to bed. And all of a sudden it's 5:15. And how'd that happen? So we didn't get to do the sit-ups. Oh boy. Or pull-ups. I think we're going to be going, we do 3 sets of 3 chin-ups. I think we're going to do 3 sets of 4 next week. All right. Also an issue with the oil change. I went in for an oil change. I'm not going to crush the place that did it, but made an appointment, dropped it off after Orange Theory. Hashtag humble brag. And the guy's like, I'll get to it as soon as I can because my mechanic quit. I'm like, all right, I don't really need it until 5. I'm not going anywhere in the middle of the day. And he's like, this is the issue. Oh, we'll get to this. Some other issues. So it's done. Go pick it up. And he charges me. And I'm like, does that include the alignment? He's like, forgot to do the alignment. Again, not going to crush the guy. He wasn't there by himself at this point in time, but can't crush the guy. I probably should have said, because they said, I got a car in front of you and we'll get to it right after that. I probably just should have said, give me $20 off of the alignment. So I'm not going back and forth with the Uber and just finish it up. So, but here's their, I'm not sure if it's a scam. It is what it is, right? Because they're right next to, I'm not going to say, they're right next to an auto parts store. And so they want to charge me ungodly amounts for a windshield wiper and an air cabin filter. Well, I did that on my own. They wanted to charge me $40 per windshield wiper. I bought one for $13. I'm sure I get what I paid for. And they wanted to charge me $60 for an air cabin filter. Well, that was the windshield wiper and the air cabin filter were a total of $40. And I put the air cabin filter in by myself. That's about the extent of the car knowledge. You YouTube it and see it, and it seems to work. If I want to put an air filter in my car, then I'm going to need some tools I don't have. I could probably call a couple of people, and it'll take 5 minutes. That doesn't seem to be all that difficult either. But that's where I'm like, did they say you want the parts? I was like, well, if you charge me what the parts cost, I'll be fine. But if you're going to charge me, I went to the auto store. I don't have to say which one. And they put on the windshield wiper. And it took, not 5 minutes. It took 30 seconds. They took one off, put the other on. Boom. Thanks for coming. Easy. Right? They probably would put the air cabin filter on if I wanted to, but I took care of that myself. Anyway, that was the day yesterday. Oh, also went to Pete's. Pete's is open. I live, right by Pete's. Very nice. They don't have the little entranceway anymore, right? It was 2 doors separating it. So when you walk in, you walk right in. The hostesses are in front of you instead of to the side. And then you sit at the bar, and it's a square bar. And you got TVs in front of you. It was nice. I had a little burger. Didn't come with fries. That and a soda was $16. Wasn't bad. Burger was good. Didn't come with fries. But that's what we did yesterday until we went to the Cajun softball game, and just not the Cajuns night. So they have not been hitting since the LSU game, right where they erupted. And let me see if we can find this, because they just didn't hit the ball a whole lot against ULM. They hit it enough. they were behind on Friday to ULM, but they just weren't hitting the ball. And now we're kind of finding out why. So what they score 10, 11 runs? What did they do against LSU? Let's see what we got. LSU, they beat them 9-4. All right. That's like the third, fourth team ranked in the nation. Then McNeese 5-4, then ULM 5-4, then 1-0, and then 5-2 over ULM. All right. So they scored a grand total of 11 runs against ULM, and they scored 9 against LSU. And so what apparently ULM was doing was kind of putting in, different pitchers and mixing it up. And that's what Troy did last night. They put in a girl, Kate Peters, who had thrown 15 innings all season. Go ahead and take on the number 17th ranked Cajuns team in Lamson Park. Go for it. 2 1/3 innings, 1 base hit, 2 walks. Next pitcher, Savannah Money. 2 1/3 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. And then Libby Baker, 2 1/3 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk. No runs. Cajuns did not hit the ball very hard at all last night. They had a couple of hit balls to third and to short. The shortstop for Troy was outstanding. Audra Thompson. Let me see how many assists she had. That's not going to be on the regular box score. Visitor stats. Is it going to be on that? Let's see here. Assists. She had. Well, that's putouts. She had 5 assists. So the shortstop, was rolling all night long. A couple of hard hit balls late. But it was 2-0 in the 6th when Langoliers got to second base, and it would have been Samro and Laney Crater couldn't bring her home. If you bring her home and it's 2-1, now they're thinking about something in the 7th. Instead, it was 2-0, and then they hit a home run. Sarah Beth Brake hit a home run. She had a big ball game coming in, hitting less than 200, 2 for 3 with a home run, drove in 2. So Troy gets their runs. Runners on at first and second. Hot shot to Langoliers at second base. Perfect double play ball. Boots it. Gets a runner at first. So it's runners on at second and third, 1 out. Instead of probably runner on at third and 2 outs. Next is a ground ball to Rowe at first. She comes home. Can't get the runner. So now it's 1-0 instead of end of the inning. So then break, a flare in the left, run comes home. It's 2-0. Cajuns got a lucky break. The catcher, Valdez, heads up play, got a lucky bounce on a wild pitch, or else that would have been another run home. Heads up play, came right back to her, dove and got the runner. Not the Cajuns' night. And I don't know where they fell RPI wise, when you're on, 15 or 16 in the, where they're going to be considered to host, you can't be losing. Although someone pointed out Troy moved into the top 50. So now it's a quadrant 1 loss, so it shouldn't hurt you. Troy is 46. Thing is, if you beat Troy a couple times, they're going to fall out of the top 50, maybe. Let's see how far the Cajuns fell. Cajuns fell to 16. That's not far. They fell -1. All right. Alabama is right ahead of the Cajuns. Alabama's strength of schedule, because it's SEC, is 4. Cajuns are 9. Non-conference schedule, though, Cajuns number 1 in the country right now. So, and they are still the top G5 school. There was somebody right behind them, but no. Charlotte's 36. Is that it? Everybody else is, SEC, ACC, Big 12. Yeah. Like Sesame Street. Which one of these doesn't belong? And the Cajuns do belong, but they're the only G5 school in there. So we'll see if they can bounce back. 6 o'clock tonight. Although, is there more rain coming tonight? Is the only problem? I thought I saw Rob Perillo discuss more weather tonight. Let's see here. Certainly nice last night, although I do look weird at the games because I have a pullover because I sit right below the air conditioning in the press box. So I'm wearing jeans and a pullover. Although I guess I take it off when I go downstairs. All right. Well, it doesn't look good right now. It looks like it's on the outskirts of thunderstorms in the area. Let's see what we're doing for the rest of the day. This will only go towards noon if it plays itself out. So there's a couple of lines of thunderstorms, but there seems to be a line behind what's coming here. So we'll see where we are. Well, let's see what it says hourly. We can always do that. Don't need the radar. Well, it says it's kind of raining all day. Oh, no, well, hold on. So a slight chance. So it's about 60% or so through 3, and then it goes down to 25%. That actually clears up tonight. 24% at first pitch, 7 o'clock partly cloudy. So should be able to get this one in. All right. So Cajuns taking on Troy for softball. We'll see how they do. I don't think Sam or Chloe pitched all that poorly, right? There's a leadoff walk, but the defense didn't do the job getting the double play. And the bats, I can't. I'm just not blaming Cajun pitching when you give up 3 runs. That's the bats have been quieted since LSU. Maybe the opponents have found, the Cajuns' weakness, right? They don't make the adjustments to new pitchers, right? Instead of throwing the superstars at South Alabama and Texas State, mix up those pitchers. No. We'll see what happens moving forward. Meanwhile, Cajuns baseball taking on Troy. Huge series. Let's see if anything changed in baseball, because there were midweek ball games. I did give my boy Mike Glavin some grief. Was it 11.7? Is that the Twitter handle, the website? Came out with a bracket, and they've got Northeastern as a number 2 seed. And so I quote tweeted it, and I said rat poison. Let's see here. What the Cajuns were like. LSU is 43. They've gone down 1. That hasn't changed since scrambling. And the Cajuns 51. So that's exactly where they started. All right. So, and Troy, kind of like their softball team, I think Troy's softball team 47. Do we say that? Is now 46. All right. So they've gone up 1 this week. Those will probably flip. I don't know if the Cajuns can get higher than that with a win tonight, but it's a huge deal for the Cajuns. Oh, by the way, softball, again, we don't play this up enough. That 88 Sun Belt Series winning streak is on the line in a big way. And don't think that doesn't matter, because Jerry Glasgow mentioned it. He goes, this is the 10th time that we have lost the first game of a series since I've been here, and that's only since 17. We've won the second game every single time, and we've won the third game every single time. So he was doing a little bit of coaching, like, we got to play better, but don't worry about it type of deal. But come back tomorrow and play better. All right. All right. So on to the Cajuns. Let's see. We got I think we got the Troy. Game notes. Let's see here. Yeah. We got the game notes for Troy. Let's see who is pitching for Troy. Again, their starter may be like a real. Well, how about this? To begin with, the Cajuns game notes is Sunday TBD. On Monday, we asked Matt Deggs if it had changed, and he said no. And now it appears that it has. So Fluno may or may not be pitching on Sunday. Wow. All right. So that's Cajuns game notes. I thought it would be Troy game notes. Let's see if we got the Troy game notes here. Let's see who's pitching for Troy. Again, a great conversation with Barry McKnight, one of the best in the Sun Belt. So let's see. So we go over there, Locked On, to check that out. Again, he's talking about the top 2 players in the lineup are going to be big. Let's see here. schedule. I don't know why I'm not clicking schedule. Let's see if they put the game notes up on here. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Cajuns, no. Game info. Let's see here. Preview. Let's see. There's no information. Oh, Troy baseball invites number 18. All right, so that was it. All right, so let's see the story here. Let's see if we have the pitching matchups. So Garrett Gaines and Luke Line are going for Troy. Now, oddly enough, they have Carson Fluno going for the Cajuns. They're TBA game 3. So they have Garrett Gaines, and I think he's the one coming back from injury. So these stats will be misleading a little bit. So won't go crazy. Let's see what he says here. See if they... Troy enters the weekend with 2 of the top 3 in RBI for the SBC. Brooks Bryan is first. Will Butcher's third, 76 and 59. Does not say anything about the pitcher. Doesn't appear. Let's see here. Garrett Gaines. Let's just click on that, see if it goes to his page. Because I think he's been working himself back. Redshirt junior. Didn't participate as a junior in 2023. Started 15 games, 9-5 with a 4.66 ERA in his freshman year. In 12 games as a Friday night starter in 2022, his 5 wins were the most by a starting pitcher. 2.9 ERA led the Trojans. All right. He was the 2-time Sun Belt Pitcher of the Week in 2022. Let's see what he's done this year, and more importantly, recently. Yeah, so to begin the year, he's only pitching an inning and working his way up, actually. Although last week, he only pitched 2 2/3 innings against Coastal and gave up 4 runs on 4 base hits. The week before against Georgia State, 2 innings, no runs on 1 base hit. At App State, 2 runs on 2 base hits in 4 innings. So he's gotten lit up a little bit. All right. His ERA isn't going to be great. So yeah, I guess I have to look at the stats overall. His ERA is not going to be great. I mean, he's given up in 28 innings. He's given up 16 earned runs, 19 walks, and 36 strikeouts. So he'll put some guys on base. Last time out against Coastal, 3 walks. Against Georgia State, a walk in just 2 innings. App State, 3 walks. Arkansas State, 2 walks, right? He pitched 4 1/3 innings against Arkansas State, 4 runs, 3 earned on 6 hits, and 4 1/3 innings, 2 hits. So, again, this is where the Cajuns have to take advantage. They have what would appear to be the advantage on the mound. That did not work itself out. Against Coastal. We'll see what happens tonight. Again, you got Andrew Herman and LP Langevin lined up. Let's see here. Scott Planche. We got a little question here. Good morning, Scott. Let me see what he says. Hey, David, is there anyone that grades the draft analysts on their projections versus the actual results? Additionally, for the preseason forecasters of college and NFL football. I think in terms of who did the best job, in terms of who picked where, I thought NFL Network's Peter Schrager did the best job of predicting the picks. Now, that doesn't mean it's always right. I saw somebody talk about, Howie Roseman always seems to, the Eagles GM always seems to do what the media ends up wanting him to do. And so they all say what a great job it was. We can't, it's really tough to, grade drafts now, just like, and thanks for chiming in, Scott. Just like Jim Nagy says, if you're giving anybody grades on this, it's all incomplete, right? I mean, what do we have? 6 quarterbacks taken in the first 12 picks, right? We could have a couple of busts before Michael Penix actually gets on the field for an extended period of time. And I am really nervous about Drake May. I'm just not. I hope I am so wrong about Drake May, but didn't want Drake May, wanted Jaden Daniels. I'm sure that's somewhat Homer bias, if you will. And I saw a lot more of Jaden than I did of Drake, but it felt like, what was it? Greg Cosell, the films guy. He's like, he missed a lot of easy throws, and that's not great. Not great. Belichick showing he never sets his feet, which I guess is fixable. No. But I thought, Scott, you can check this out. I thought Peter Schrager was the winner when it came to, mock drafts, if you want to say. He did the best job. I don't know if that's, specific player, position, right? I mean, if you, get the position, but not the player, how much does that count? So we had that promotion in Mobile. And it'd be interesting to know outside of Atlanta, how many players, I mean, it really was chalk for like the first 6 picks, right? First, maybe 7, maybe not the Titans. But if the Giants weren't taking a quarterback, they took the best player and they took one that they needed, right? So, yeah. So we tried to do it the first, try to pick the most players in the first round, and then that was too much. So, try to pick the first 10 players, and we give a list, whatever it is, ESPN or NFL Network. Here are all the players. We're not going to make people try and remember who the players are, but it'd be interesting to know if anyone got 8 out of 10. I'm sure no one got Michael Penix, but, probably could have got 7, 8 out of 10 in the top 10. All right, it is episode 30 of the Schultzycast. Cajun softball taking on Troy. We'll be at the game tonight. And we'll be listening and watching the baseball game starting at the same time. I want to give out a special shout out to Matty H. Again, left the expensive Bose headsets in the press box a couple weeks ago when I was doing the coastal stuff. So got him back yesterday. So that's big. All right, we'll try not to leave them behind today. I usually do a good job of cleaning up because try to get out of there as quickly as possible when you're done. Like all the plugs, put that away. So I can just tweet out what I'm tweeting and then put the computer away. But I apparently left the headphones behind. So we got those back, and we'll be watching softball, or we're watching baseball as we're covering softball. So try to do a double thread, which will not be easy. We'll see if the Cajuns bats in both cases are off and running, and more so on the Cajun side if the pitching is any good. Right. Excuse me. Andrew Herman's got to set that tone, right? It'd be nice if the Cajuns could jump on top in the first against Troy, but Andrew Herman really needs to put up a 0 in the first. Right. I think they put up a 0 against Coastal in the first inning on Sunday, but that didn't last very long. Right. That was back and forth, and Cajuns had a 10-6 lead, and that didn't last 6 outs. All right, elsewhere, LSU, big series, right, with A&M. I probably need to put that out. I don't want to hear about how tough their schedule is. You're in the SEC. It's not like you got moved up or something like that. You weren't promoted into the SEC, and your schedule's all that hard, okay? We knew that going in. Everybody knew what the schedule was, right? The way it started out, Mississippi State on the road. They're having probably a better season than most thought because they haven't done, diddly poo since they won the championship. They've been bad. Florida's barely over 500, but they got a good RPI. You got Arkansas, which is probably the number 1 team in the nation, got swept by them. Vanderbilt is always Vanderbilt, although not quite this year as they have been in the past, but that's a good RPI. And then you get swept by Tennessee. So, against Tennessee, Vanderbilt, and Arkansas, you won 1 out of 9. Win some games. Don't complain about your schedule. Win some games. And that's what they've done. They've taken 2 out of 3 from Missouri and 2 out of 3 from Auburn, which puts them in good shape. Although better shape, if they had, swept those series, they'd be sitting mid-30s right now. Instead, they're 43. Again, if they're on the bubble, they're getting in. All right, I fully believe that. I don't think it's just LSU. I think if the defending national champion is on the bubble, they get the benefit of the doubt. Now, they're not going to host right now. I mean, I guess they still could, right? If they sweep A&M, or even if they take, what if they take 2 out of 3 from A&M, 2 out of 3 from Alabama, and then sweep Ole Miss? So that's 7 more wins in conference. Now, that'd be 14 wins. I do that right? 3, 2, and 2. Yeah. Again, if LSU is on the bubble, they're getting in. All right. In fact, they may be on the wrong side of the bubble and still get in. I guess they first have to worry about getting into the SEC tournament. And if you can win one game there, you'll be in good shape. But the opportunity is there. This is different than, say, other teams in the Sun Belt where, this is the weekend you got to do it. Like, there's a huge Coastal Carolina Southern Miss series. Huge series for both teams. Coastal Carolina lost 5 in a row, coming off the 2 out of 3 win over the Cajuns. Southern Miss losing 2 out of 3 to the Cajuns. Southern Miss can get back into that at-large berth deal. And Coastal Carolina, you take down Southern Miss on the road, and all of a sudden you're back to hosting, potentially. So huge series there. Lots going on. But there's other series where, you end up with not such great opponents at the end, and it doesn't help the RPI. That's not really the case in the SEC. So LSU has a great chance, win, and you're in, right? We're not really worried about hosting. I'd probably stop talking about regionals and super regionals. I would just worry about winning. Now, they keep on talking about that, and they keep on winning. So maybe that's okay. But I would just worry about tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. And it'll be packed. I'm sure it'll be full at the box. All right. We are Fausti from CBS here in Lafayette wants me to go on with him. I don't know when this is going to air. Right? We're doing some sort of Cajun Nations thing. Please don't tell me we're going to talk about baseball and softball and it's going to air on Sunday. I don't even know what we're talking about. I presume it's Cajun softball and baseball, but hopefully it airs tonight. I don't know when this is airing. We're going to record something a couple of days in advance. That's not great. when the results are what matters. Right? We did. I went on with Will Herring at 15 and crushed the Pelicans because I didn't think Zion was going to play, and Zion played and they ended up winning. I didn't think he was going to play. I think he had a bad thumb. It wasn't a serious injury, but Matt Miguez calls me out. I'm like, well, hold on a second. I mean, I probably wouldn't have changed what I said, but we were basing it on what we thought going into the game. So we'll see what we're going to. So we'll be on channel 10 here in Lafayette, recording that at 9:30. So I got to put on the dryer. I guess I could go in this shirt. It's not bad. So it's Derby Day as well. Well, tomorrow's Derby Day. We may have to go celebrate with a couple of bottles of bourbon. Also, we got the New News raffle, right? I bought a bottle of Maker's Mark to get into the raffle. We'll see if I'm a lucky winner there. And Rouse's Mother's Day basket raffle should be announced, early next week. We'll see if we're lucky to get anything there. Again, I don't need any new bottles, but the JT Melick high proof one is out, and maybe get a Cajuns cut. Kind of need a local thing. Also, again, things are kind of moving along in terms of opportunities for me. So I will say, I am, and for those who don't know, again, I'm basically unemployed. Well, not basically. I am. I have a little side gig in the Lockdown Sunbelt, but I'm unemployed. I have an opportunity here, which I would be glad to take, and then have to find another part-time job to supplement that. And someone's interested in me outside of town. I am paranoid. That would be a good word. When I don't hear back from people, and there's no reason to be. All right. But I will say, and again, this has been Sunday makes it 3 weeks. That's the process hasn't been that long. I sent something in on a Sunday, interviewed on a Monday, interviewed again on the following Tuesday, heard back on Thursday, heard back on Sunday, and now heard back this week a couple of times. So the person running the show has been in touch with me constantly. I will say that. Usually you go a few days and you get concerned. I have not had that problem. So we'll see if it's moving along. I think the process will be another conversation next week, which kind of makes it a long weekend, but still seems to be moving forward. And of course, when and if that happens, we'll let everybody know. We are going to, my family, me, myself, and I, and my family, is going up to, in fact, 2 weeks from today, we'll be going up to Louisville. It's not not a slow time up at Louisville. You got the Derby this weekend. The Oaks is today, so that's the fillies, right? Those are the female horses going today. And the Derby's tomorrow, and then it's the PJ Championship. And my nephew happens to be graduating the same weekend as the PJ Championship. So that'll be fun. Also, Louisville is taking on Notre Dame in baseball. So if any chance to vote to root against Notre Dame, I'm all for it. So I wouldn't mind going to the game. I'm getting in on Friday. We'll go to the game on Saturday. If it's a nice day out and we're not doing anything, graduation's not until Sunday. And I think there's a dinner on Saturday. But I think the baseball game's at 1. So we can absolutely go to that. All right. So wrapping things up, I got to turn on the dryer to get the clothes ready for Fausti. That makes no sense. Knicks prevail over the Sixers. Great game. I mean, the Knicks were way out in advance, way out early, 33-11. Sixers led at halftime. Knicks get out to an 8-point lead. Knicks tie it up. Brunson with an and one. Hart with a 3. It was a great game. You got to give the Sixers a lot of credit. They absolutely could have mailed it in and didn't. The Knicks didn't fold as they could have. It was a great basketball game. We'll see what the Sixers do moving forward. And we'll see, if the Knicks taking on Indiana, right? If they can get past that, I think that's right, to take on the Celtics. That's what, right? Are the Knicks good enough to take on the Celtics? I probably don't think so. But certainly it would be a potentially great series. Let's see here. Scores. Also, Indiana took down Milwaukee. I'm not sure if we got the whole Doc Rivers press conference up yet. Let's see when these series are starting. You do have the Nuggets and the Timberwolves starting on Saturday. Sunday, so these aren't starting until Monday. No, so Knicks Pacers start Monday. So the Celtics were done on Wednesday. The Celtics were done on Wednesday. Oh, do we not know who this? Oh, is that the problem? Hold on. What's going on here? Oh, okay. There you go. We don't know who the Celtics are playing, right? The Celtics, we still got where are we here? So you still have the Magic and Cavaliers. So they're playing Sunday. Now, is that right? Oh, no, they got game 6 is tonight. And so, again, that series may not start for a minute. Does it say when the Knicks are starting? Knicks Pacers start on Monday. So Knicks Pacers start on Monday. Sunday, you could have Cavaliers Magic wrapping up. And so I'm going to guess that the Celtics series wouldn't start until the earliest Tuesday and probably Wednesday. We'll see how that all works out. All right, anything else going on? Let me see. Again, I need a better thing than Facebook. But we talked about the oil change. I'm not going to say fiasco. A little pain in the tush. It really is. Yeah. Also, I mean, I gotta bring it in again. I'm not even sure I overreacted yesterday, but I just should have left it there and should have said, "Hey, give me $20 off. I'll do it. Give me $20 off, and I'll go take a Uber back and forth." And it would have been done. So it's just pulling a little bit to the right. It is what it is. All right, we will post this 30th episode. So it's 4 weeks already. My goodness. Again, time does fly. I can't. What is Moscona up to? Like 2000 or something like that. He's been doing it since 19. Yeah, I stopped once I went to Mobile. Probably should have started. Probably should have kept it up. All right, everybody have a great Friday. We'll be at Cajun softball, watching Cajuns baseball, and probably have an eye on the LSU game. Boy, if LSU takes that first one, be interesting to see how far they fly up the board. Can you go from 43 to 33 with a home win over the number one team in the nation? That would, you could set the tone fast. The thing is, A&M's really good. This may be A&M's best chance at winning anything like ever, because they were down 9-0 to Georgia, and they ruled Georgia 19-9. So a fast start does not necessarily help LSU. They gotta go all vampire, make sure they put a stake in their heart when they can and finish it off. So lots of sports going on. I guess Saints minicamp is next week. My goodness. Wow. All right. Jacob Caboti back and forth, gets a chance with the Saints. Would be interesting. My one question would be for football brass, and Jim Nagy would be another good one. And sometimes it's a numbers thing, right? It's not personal, or it's just kind of business. How much can you gain from the rookie mini camps? Like, all right, this guy's got some potential. This guy fits. We may be able to use him here. And game's a little too fast for him, right? And I said Jacob Caboti. I'm just using non-drafted free agents in general. Like, can you see that in a weekend? Like, okay, this guy's getting it. That guy's picking it up. All right. And, well, and then there's the veterans mini camp. If they come back, right? And so, do you get that? Are they involved with that as well? And then on the other side of things, you got the whole Keon Coleman show. I hope he understands we're laughing with him and not at him, right? Like, it just feels like Keon Coleman is just saying, what's on his mind. Not trying to do shtick, not trying to do an act, not overthinking it. Right? Like, they said he plays golf. He says he plays golf, and they're like, "Oh, really?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm Tiger. Wish I could. I'm Tiger Woods. Wish I could." Instead of Tiger Woods. So, he's quite the character. All right. So hopefully he doesn't lose that. He is going to get some serious sponsorship deals in Buffalo. And of course, Bills Mafia is already donating money to his, Hope for Opelousas? So Bills Mafia is good like that. All right. That all started with like Andy Dalton, where the Bills Mafia would donate to the opposing team's charity, because Andy Dalton ended up getting a win for the Bengals. I don't remember who they even beat, but it got the Bills to the playoffs for the first time in forever. And all of a sudden, Bills Mafia is loading up Andy Dalton's charity. How great is that? All right. So it's pretty cool. And then they, Tre'Davious White got hurt, and they loaded up his thing and his charity. So Bills Mafia is good like that. All right, everybody have I think you can hear the rain out there now. So drive carefully going to work. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Again, it's on Apple and Spotify. It does get up pretty quickly right after the show. As long as I can download and have space, I did delete and actually backed up the computer for the first time in forever yesterday. All right. Thanks so much. Have a great Friday, great weekend. We'll be back Monday. We'll recap what happens with the Cajuns in Troy, both in softball and in baseball. And, of course, LSU's big series against A&M. Have a great weekend, everybody.